If you want to know how I build Korean Sims in my save file, then subscribe to my Patreon because that video is going to be posted there very soon, and I'm also going to be uploading some Sims, some base Korean Sims for my patrons to download. So thank you guys for the support in advance, and I'll see you over there. Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, depending on when you are watching this video. Today we are going to be doing something super fun. It is something that's been highly requested on this channel. No, it's not my save file tour video. That is still in the works. As you can see, my save file is not complete. I'm working really hard on it every single day. Now, this video I wanted to give as a gift to you guys for hitting 1,600 subscribers. Woo! I was going to do something for 1,500, but I didn't have time to get around to it. But now I'm going to do something special for hitting 1,500. I cannot believe this channel has grown so much in such a short amount of time. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, seriously. So yeah, so what are we going to be doing today? Well, I got a lot of comments asking me how I make my save file. How do I build these lots? How do I make my world look like it takes place in Korea? And I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to get that Korea vibe from a lot. And we're going to be doing so in a world that doesn't really give Korea. Like when you look at it, this is Glimmerbrook. I think it's a world that came with the Realm of Magic game pack, I think so, with all of the like spellcasters and stuff. And this is a world I don't see people use often, but don't worry you guys, it can be utilized. That's if there's one thing you learn from me with this whole save file series, it's that you can always make your worlds look as unique as you want them to with just a little bit of creativity and a lot of mods. I'm just kidding, but not really. So yeah, so how do I do it? So we're going to start, I'm going to make a shell for you guys to use. I will be uploading it so you guys can download it, and with doing so, I'm going to try and not use any custom content or minimal custom content. We'll see how this goes. I haven't really planned it out yet. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my menu here and I'm going to go content, custom content. I'm going to uncheck it. I use the Better Build By mod by Twisted Mexi. This mod is very, very important to me because it's one that organizes all of the debug. Also, you can set it to automatically have move objects on, and yeah, you can just filter way easier with this mod. It is a must-have. Also, it lets you use tool mod and build by mode. If you don't know what tool mod is, it is a necessity for me and a lot of builders actually. And what it is the take objects off lot mod. So you basically, let me show you guys really quick how it works. This is not going to be an in-depth tutorial because there's tons of that available on YouTube, but just a really brief tutorial to show you guys how I use it. For example, if you get this bed and you put it on this lot, in build mode, what you would do is you would click shift plus hold down the T key on your keyboard, and then this will come up, tool extension. And tool mod, yeah, you take objects off of lot. So all you would have to do is click on the object that you want to move, and then to be able to move it like outside of where the lot is, you see that like square, that highlighted square, that's the lot. And then this is outside of it. Usually you wouldn't be able to build here or place anything here. And all you would do is you just click on the ground and then you can move the object where you want. Oh, a little known thing that like I don't think a lot of people know, you could actually place objects on the water. Like the water is a surface, so if ever you want to like move something and like put it on the water, like you can do that. But yeah, so how you use tool mod, again, this isn't a tutorial, but just some things you can do with it. If you want it, precision scaling, super important. Say you want to scale up this bed, but you didn't want to press the 9 key. Is it the 9 key? No, it's the bracket key. You would like, let's say, scale it up to 3. So now it's 3 times the size, a thing to remember, so when you're scaling, 1 is the default, that's like the size that it comes in. If you want it to be smaller, you would be like 0.5, which is like half. So now it's like half as small. You can actually make it super small. You can do 0.1 to make it like really small. What would happen if we did 0.01? You can't even see it. Or set it back to 1. If you wanted it to be 2 times as big, you would do 2, and then it's 2 times as big. And about scaling, it's not cumulative. So if you scaled 2 and then you scaled 1, it wouldn't be scale 3. It would just go to whatever number it is. So 1. Okay. Other things you can do with tool mod, you can elevate things. So you can make this like, if you elevate it 2, then it'll go 2. If you, yeah, you can do that. Also, if you go to change settings, snap to terrain is something to really keep in mind. If it's enabled, then no matter where an object is, it'll connect to the lot. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. I think Kate Emerald has a really good tutorial on tool mod. You should definitely go check them out. Twisted Mexi probably has tutorials on the mod as well on their channel. So like I said, if you move something on the water, like it's going to snap to the terrain, so it's going to be right on the surface of the water, whereas if you didn't have that enabled and you put it on the water, it's going to be floating in the air, that type of thing. So yeah, that's tool mod. And to disable it, you just shift T and yes. Okay, so let's go into the building. I haven't really planned anything out. I'm just gonna go like first thing that comes to mind, you know. We're just gonna do it like on the spot, so you guys can really look at the building process. So the first thing I do, because I build in Korea is like very city like, very concrete. You're not gonna see too much grass all over the place, especially like with buildings and stuff like that. So I go to the terrains, I go to like outside terrains, and I try and like make the lot look like concrete. So I'll use Glamour Tough Stain Concrete. I really like that one, and I'll just put that all over the lot. So now we have a base. Okay, and then going from there, so what lot am I going to be building? And I'm going to show you guys how I get inspiration for my builds. So right now we are in my Chrome browser, and all I've done is I've googled Hongdae restaurants Seoul. So Hongdae is a city in Korea. You can choose any city in Korea, any place in Korea really. All I did is Google it, and I'm going to click on a random one, and then what you do from there, you would go to photos, just click on random photos. This is a place called Hongdae Tak Halmari. Tak Hanmari? What is that? What's Hanmari? Hanmaris. I don't know, but Hongdae something chicken. And then you would go over until you see something called Street View 360. And what that is, it's basically just Google Street View. It'll show you the place from Google Maps. So this is the street. I'm guessing, yeah, this is it. Where did I go? Oh, no, not me getting lost. Is it? Where'd it go? Hongdae. Hello. Let me just. Here it is. Hongdae Tak Hanmari. So this restaurant, this is the base. So the reason I go into Street View is because it shows you what the street looks like. If you want to see what a street in Korea looks like, just go on Google Maps and then you can see all of this cool stuff. So an important thing to note would be like the distance of the buildings. So in Korea, a lot of the architecture style, like you'll see a lot of buildings, but you will also see these like back alleyways where it's very walkable. It's a very walkable like country, to say the least, especially Seoul, very walkable. You see all these back alleyways utilized a lot, these narrow streets, and yeah, so you would keep that in mind, the distance of the buildings, also like where the placement of the cars are and things like that. So I'm going to start building, I guess, this restaurant. I'm going to decide that, let's say this is going to be the front of the building. Also the building height, let's see, there are a bunch of like These buildings do seem pretty tall, so I'm gonna do maybe medium or third wall height. That seems like overkill. We're gonna do medium wall height. I could always change it later, so I'm not too worried about that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put some buildings off to the side here. And they're not gonna be right next to each other, because remember I said there are a lot of like alleyways in Korea, so you want the buildings to have a little bit of space. Another thing I noticed is this little small building here. It is smaller than the rest of them, so I'm going to recreate that. You do want to have enough space to create this road in the middle of the street here, because you're going to make the illusion that there's more buildings on the other side. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna move this building back to the absolute edge of the lot just to create a little bit more space here. This as well. Move this back. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, and now you have a little bit more space to play around with, and we are going to put some more buildings here. Just a bunch of squares. When in doubt, just start building a bunch of squares, you guys, and eventually something good is gonna happen. Let's just look at the reference again. And then remember, you also want to make it the right height. I also noticed here there's this like little building right here with a little blue roof, so we're gonna recreate that as well. So this is gonna be the base of what this lot is gonna look like. Just a bunch of squares, some rectangles, you know. The next thing I do is I usually pick like the wall covering. So the materials, my favorite one to use is this pattern plaster. I feel like it just gives a city vibe, but again, just pay attention to your reference and like what the textures are, I guess, the materials. So here I'm gonna use it for these two buildings. This one is gonna be a different one. This is gonna be some brick, and then these are gonna be some brick. Okay, so the materials have been applied to the buildings. Next, let's do roofing, just to get that out of the way. This roof is blue. So let's see if we can use, yeah, we're gonna use this one from Snowy Escape. And then I like to add some roof trims because it just makes the lot look cleaner. I usually go for like a gray or a white, something that's not gonna draw too much attention. Something that I like to do to finish up my roofs, like, because I just feel like this looks unfinished. I'll go into half walls, and then I'll just pick a tiny half wall, place by enclosure, and I'll do it like that so that like it looks like there's an edge without having to actually place a roof. So I'll just do that to all of them. And then you just go in and you recolor it. And then for the half wall trim, you can leave it as is, but I like to make the trim like gray or something. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, it just looks more finished to me. Now, what we're gonna do is I usually like to do windows next. So again, just look at the reference image and try and match it as close as possible to the image that you see here. Like, a good thing I like to say is build what you see, not what you like know. And basically, like, if you see something on the build, like, try and recreate it. Yeah, just to the best of your abilities. Again, it's inspired by, it's not going to be entirely accurate. The game does have limitations, but just do your best, and you'll end up making some really cool, unique lots this way. So I'm going to go and like do all of the window placements and stuff, and then I will meet you guys back here afterwards. So while I was putting on the windows, I noticed that there's some clipping going on here, and I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand clipping in my builds. Some builders are okay with it. I am not one of them. So something I do to stop the clipping, because it does drive me crazy, I'm going to, in tool mode, just click on all the windows that are clipping, just select them all like this, and you select them multiply by holding down Alt and clicking. I'm gonna make sure snap to terrain is not turned on, and then I'm just gonna go here and then Alt click on the ground a little bit and just like move it out of the way a little bit, and then let's move it back. I want it to be a little bit aligned with the windows. See, yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to deselect it, and yeah, just like that, it's still where I want it to be, but it's not clipping anymore. I also want them to be a little bit lower on the window, so I'm gonna reselect them all. And you see how there's like that little piece right here? I'm gonna go to elevate and subtract, let's see, 0.5, that's too much. I'm going to elevate it by 0.3. Yeah, that's good. And then there, the windows are in the perfect place. Building hack. So I'm back here, and I have added windows and a couple little extra features to make this feel more like a neighborhood or like a street. You can see here I just added some windows. I added some awnings and lots of like little entrances to places. If you'll go down here, you'll see there's like a stairway, an entrance here, fake entrance here. These are just the windows. If you want, you can put a door and then make this a little functional space. And yeah, just a lot of little like fake entrances, so that if you did want to transform this into a functional lot, you can very easily. Then I did add like some trash cans, because like I said, there are a lot of like alleyways in Korea. So yeah, this is what a base of one of my lots would look like. It's just there's nothing inside anywhere. I just made all of the walls like black, and there's nothing, there's no furnishings. It's just a shell, and this is a shell without any CC. And what I usually would like to do next before I go in and add CC, I usually build with CC obviously, but since I am giving you guys this slot, I'm not using CC. So the next step I would do in this build, without any CC, I would go and get some live edit or debug objects and try and make the lot look a little bit unique. So what that would look like, first I would go here. So you would go filter content, and you would check this live edit box. Live edit is basically the content that you see around the world that isn't available in the catalog or in the debug catalog. So like a lot of trees and rocks and buildings, like deco buildings especially, you would see in the live edit option. So now that I've done that, you should see a live edit category. If you have Better Build By installed correctly, this will appear. So you click on live edit, and then here click the tilde key to expand the build by catalog, or you can click the 1 key and it does the same thing. And now you will see a bunch of live edit objects. These are not custom content, these are items that come with the game. So there's a lot here that you would not see otherwise. And yeah, there's all sorts of things here. You have cars, you have buildings, you have like fences and stuff. Yeah, you have cars, you have these like buildings that you would place in the background of places. It's super duper cool, you guys. There's trees, and you can get a lot of cool objects here without even needing CC. So I highly recommend that you guys download this mod to be able to just look through all of this. What the mod does, it doesn't necessarily unlock all the live edit and debug, but it does categorize them and sort them so that you can find them easier. What I usually do when I'm building, I'll go through and I'll just pick a bunch of stuff that I think I want to use on the lot, and I'll just place them anywhere, and then I would put them where I want them to be afterwards, if that makes sense. For example, I saw this banner here and I really like it and I want to use it for this lot. There's like also, actually this is the first time I'm seeing this banner. I'm going to use this so much in other builds. Are you kidding me? I did not know this was here. Okay. Also, definitely look through swatches of things when you are pulling things out, because you will see so many cool swatches that you didn't even know existed, and you're gonna get to use them in your build. Because I think I'm gonna transform this into a restaurant lot. I'm gonna pull out some of these. I also need some trees for some landscaping. So I don't have to use debug trees, but since we're here, I may as well grab a couple. I'll get back to that. And yeah, I'm just gonna go through and grab some things that I want to use in my build, and then I will come back to you guys to explain everything. Okay, so now that I have got out some objects from live edit that I want to use, I'm going to actually go back into the tool menu and I'm going to move them off the lot. So again, you're just going to click holding Alt to click all the objects you want to move, and I'm just going to move them slightly off of lot, all the bigger objects anyway, because you want to see where you're going to be putting them, right? You don't want to just have all of this space taken away. Put this off of lot as well, and you can do this, you'll move them back on the lot as well. Like if you saw this like rock that was just laying here, you can move it. Again, you can't move things normally, like using the picker tool or anything when it's off of lot, but anything that you put onto the lot, you can use. Like for example, this dirt pile, if you put that there, go out of tool mod, now you can move it around regularly. You can like duplicate it, you can delete it even. It'll respawn back in the world at some point, but yeah, that's just a little thing. So now let me show you some of the things that I pulled out. So I pulled out some graffiti, some banners, and like signs and stuff for like restaurants and businesses, some trash piles. These came with Eco Lifestyle, some like electricity boxes and like industrial looking like pipes and stuff to put on the side of the walls. And then here we have like this sunshade awning. I think this came with Journey to Batu. I do not blame you if you did not get that pack, don't worry. And we have some cars, some deco cars, street light, and then some what are these called, telegraph poles, I think, electric poles, whatever they're called. Yeah, I pulled some of those out. So now that you see the items that I have here, I'm going to use them in this lot, and I'm going to decorate a little bit. So I will come back when I've finished with that. Now, one of the more important things that I find in these type of builds is that the thing that really adds the most realism to me and makes the lot really come together as like city-like are these street lights and telegraph poles. You'll notice a difference in the lot. Like as soon as you put them there, then it just feels a lot more like a city. So I'm going to put these on the lot and then show you guys the difference. Okay, so I have finished adding clutter. You can't see it, hold on. This is all of the clutter that I think I'm going to add for this lot. I have here some pole wire thingies, cables, I don't know, that came with Snowy Escape's live edit, and I've just like elevated them to look like telegraph wires. Yeah, I found more traffic cones and just like little things to add to make it look a lot more like cluttered. And yeah, when things have like a bunch of clutter placed around, I like to call it cluttered with care. A lot has been cluttered with care. so that it looks, you know, like active and live. The last thing I usually do with my lots is I will add lighting. So I just like to go into night mode, and then I have some street lights here, but they don't really give off that much light. So I just go to lighting, and I did notice in one of these restaurants they had some really unique lights like this. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll just use this one. This type of lighting here. Then let's see, what else? Just some outdoor lights to put so that the business looks open. Let's go to the first floor. I'll put one here and maybe here. Let's see. Type of small light. I'll resize this and put it here. So this is as illuminated as I'm going to make this lot be, and this is what it would look like at night. The very last thing I do with my builds, this lot is ready to be downloaded, but if you want to know how like I make the entire atmosphere really come together, the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to go into live edit. So the next thing I'm going to put with this whole area, you're not going to be able to download it because I am going to be taking these items off of lot. So unless you had my save file, you won't get the next buildings that I'm going to be placing down. But another thing I like to do, like I said, in build by mode with better build by, if you come into this live edit object mode, you will see a bunch of deco buildings. So I think this one, where did this one come from? This one came with City Living. You're not going to see these if you don't have the packs that pertain to them. This is a building that came with City Living. So if you have that pack, then you'll have this building. And what I do, I'll go into tool mod and then I'll just take it off of the lot, and then now it looks like there's another building behind there. And yeah, you can just do that with like all of these buildings here, and you can add them to make it look like there's a city behind the place you just built. So I'll just like move it like that. And then if you slowly start to do that like all over, you'll see like it looks and feels more city-like already, right, you guys? I'll put one here so you can see options. I'm gonna go ahead and snap the terrain, grab this, that's way too big. We're gonna scale it down. Let's do 0.5, that's good, and then just move it a little bit. That's 2. Remember when I said you can place items on the water? So if you want this building to be a little bit further away, just put it on the water. And then let's move it. So yeah, now there's a building in the background over there. Let's put another one down. Which one? Let's do this one. And then just resize it. Like this. Let's also put that on the water and then move it a little bit closer. And then yeah, so then that is what it looks like. Let's put it a little bit closer. Can't really tell. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think that looks really good. And then the very last thing that I'm gonna do, I'm going to have to enable my CC for this because I did make it a CC object, and let me show you what that is. So I'm just gonna click the custom content button, and then here I'm going to type in my own creator name, which is SimSapiens. I have some things here. There's definitely some spoilers in here. Try not to look. But something that I have made, I have these city mates. So a mate is basically what you see in the very, very background of a world. So here, if we go high enough, you can see the mate. Well, is there a mate in Glimmerbrook? Shut up. Oh my gosh. Yes, there is. Okay. So if you go far enough here, you will see these like mountains. They're not real mountains. They're just like these mates, these fake images here of mountains, and they put them far enough back so that it looks like there are mountains off in the distance. So if you want to make it look like a city, I have extracted these mates from Sims 4 Studio, and they come with the game. I use this one a lot, the city mate. I think this is the one that they use in San Myshuno. And what I'll do is I'll size this up. It doesn't have to be sized up too much. That's not big enough. I can just grab it. I don't know if it's, wait, no. Scale. Okay. Scale, I'm gonna scale it up to about 10. That's pretty big. It's a little too far out, so I'm gonna bring it closer. Probably. So you see how I have this city here, this fake city in the background. I'm just gonna elevate it so that it's -8, so that it's lower. And then it's gonna look like this. So it's scaled up to, let's scale it up a little bit more. What does 9, let's scale it 10. Sure, that's fine. So I scaled it up, and now it looks a little bit more like this is placed in a city because you have like this city background going on. And I use this a lot. Like there are so many ways that I use it, like especially in, what's it called, Newcrest. I didn't really place these in the best area, and I'm not keeping them there because this is actually not what I planned to do with this lot. And if ever you don't want these to be here, just literally put them back on the lot so that you can delete them as normal. So you can just click and delete them, and then they won't be there anymore. This and this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult to delete. Actually scale it down there, and then you can just click on them and get rid of them. So yeah, and that's basically all there is to it with how to build a Korea looking lot. Let me know if you need any more tutorials, if there's anything that I didn't cover in this one, anything specific that you want to know. I'm going to again upload this so that you guys can have it for yourselves to play around with. And yeah, I hope this was of some help to you guys. Little things to just like keep in mind when you're building. Just like make sure you are aware of the architecture of the place that you're building. Like you're not going to see any blue suburban houses in Korea, so you're really gonna want to like focus on building like upwards and very rectangular and things like that. It's a city, so there's going to be cars. Make sure you have some cars in the street. And yeah, if there's any places of business, just like how can you make it look like this is a living, breathing environment. I don't know how much help this video was, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment down below telling me what you thought. A link will be in the description for you to download this lot. If you want to be notified of whenever I upload, please hit that bell icon to receive post notifications of whenever I post. I have a ton of content coming for you guys and you don't want to miss out. Thank you guys so much for 1,600 subscribers. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!